Atlantis Protocol, written by Hadja Mo. This book is a tribute to the people of Atlantis, their civilization, and the legacy they left behind. A world lost to time but never forgotten. Prologue. The day Atlantis fell high above Earth's gentle curve, the planet appeared as a tranquil orb of swirling blue and white. Wisps of clouds drifted across vast oceans and continents, hinting at the bustling life below. But beyond the serenity of Earth's atmosphere, in the depths of space, the sun pulsed ominously. Its golden surface bubbled and surged, then burst with a violent solar flare, an eruption of plasma that surged outward, bright and terrifying against the cosmic void. Far beneath that celestial spectacle, hidden across the expanse of the Atlantic Ocean, thrived the legendary city of Atlantis. Plato's vision brought to life, a series of concentric rings, alternating land and water, formed the city's layout, each ring connected by graceful stone bridges. Sleek canals fed by ocean currents glimmered in the morning sun, while columned buildings of white marble and gold lined the promenades. Yet woven into this classical beauty were subtle technological marvels, transparent glass panels that glowed softly with stored energy, while energy conduits hummed beneath heated marble walkways. Every fountain, every lamp, every structure drew power from the heart of the city, the orichalcum crystal. At the city's center, above all the outer rings, stood a grand temple, its dome shimmering with inlaid gold and platinum. Surrounding it lay sprawling plazas brimming with lush trees, flower-laden gardens, and flowing aqueducts. Merchants filled open-air markets, hawking spices, vibrant textiles, and intricate jewelry. Families strolled under sculpted archways, children laughing as they played between the marble columns. Along the outermost ring, sleek Atlantean ships bobbed at the piers, their sails furled in the gentle morning breeze. Beneath the vibrant city, in the subterranean Tech Core Lab Center, scientist Atlas and engineer Helena carefully monitored Atlantis's orichalcum-powered energy grid. Atlas stood at a gleaming circular console, flickers of Atlantean glyphs spiraling across the 360-degree display. His wife, Helena, knelt nearby, offering spoonfuls of smooth, creamy custard to their 1-year-old daughter, Helena, who sat happily on a soft cushion, her tiny fingers grasping at a glowing crystal block. Helena's chubby hands patted at the crystal, watching with wide-eyed fascination as it pulsed faintly beneath her grasp. She let out a squeal of delight, shaking it wildly as soft ripples of energy danced across its surface. Atlas, monitoring the console, glanced over and smirked. He stepped toward her, crouching beside her with a playful glint in his eye. "Already trying to control energy," he teased, ruffling her soft golden curls. Helena Babel laughed, kicking her tiny feet excitedly. "Da, da, da!" she called, reaching toward him with both arms. Atlas chuckled softly, leaning in to press a gentle kiss to her forehead. "I have to work, little one," he murmured, running his fingers through her hair. "Be good for Mama." Helena, sensing he was about to leave, grabbed a fistful of his shirt, tugging at him insistently. She patted at his chin with drool-coated fingers, giggling as if she had just won a battle against the great scientist of Atlantis. Helena laughed, shaking her head. "Oh no, Atlas! You belong to her now!" Atlas groaned dramatically. "I had a good run!" He gently pried Helena's tiny fingers from his shirt, placing one last kiss on her forehead before standing. As he returned to his console, Helena settled beside Helena, holding out a spoonful of custard. "All right, love, let's try again." Helena's big, curious eyes followed the spoon, her lips parting slightly before grabbing for it instead. She smeared more custard on her face than actually made it into her mouth, but she clapped her hands proudly anyway. Helena grinned, wiping her daughter's sticky cheeks. "Oh, you think you're clever, don't you?" Helena squealed in response, flailing her arms and kicking her tiny legs, thrilled by the attention. Atlas, from across the room, glanced over his shoulder, a small, affectionate smile tugging at his lips. For just a moment, the hum of energy readings faded into the background, replaced by the soft sound of his daughter's giggles filling the lab. A moment of pure, untouched happiness, the last before the world began to fall apart. The glyphs on the spherical display suddenly flashed from blue to red. Helena's laughter died in her throat. "Atlas," she said quietly, her voice trembling. "The sun! These readings show a massive solar flare heading our way. Atlas's face hardened. He swiftly keyed in a sequence of ancient Atlantean script. "We must raise the shield!" Above the city, a blue protective dome shimmered into place, spanning from the outermost ring to the highest spire. Citizens paused their daily routines to marvel at the sudden shift. For a moment, it held strong, resisting the brunt of the solar event. Then the aftershock struck. The city shuddered violently. A deep, unnatural quake rattled the streets. Energy lines spluttered. The orichalcum reactor faltered. The shield flickered, then collapsed. A vast tsunami triggered by seismic chaos hurtled toward the city. The first wave struck the outer rings with unimaginable force, shattering docks, sinking ships, and sending marble structures crumbling. Fathers grabbed their children, running for shelter. Mothers clutched infants to their chests, wailing as the rising waters dragged loved ones away. Market stalls, once brimming with life, were swept into the abyss. People drowned in the streets, swallowed by the relentless surge. Some clung to broken columns, only to be crushed by falling debris. A young boy cried for his mother, reaching out as the flood took her beneath the waves. Deep below, the tech core lab trembled. Atlas and Helena rushed toward the hidden bunker. Helena whimpered, sensing the terror around her. Helena held her tightly, pressing frantic kisses to her tiny forehead. "Hurry!" Atlas shouted. The ceiling cracked. Water gushed inside. The bunker door slammed shut just as Atlantis, its great temples, its majestic towers, its people, was swallowed by the ocean. The great city trembled, its once majestic streets now filled with screams and chaos. Buildings buckled and collapsed, bridges snapped like twigs, and the once glorious canals became torrents of destruction, sweeping away everything in their path. The outer rings vanished first, swallowed by the raging tsunami, their elegant structures reduced to nothing but churning debris and bodies lost to the deep. Civilians clung to floating wreckage, reaching for loved ones who had already been pulled under. The shrieks of the drowning mixed with the deafening roar of the collapsing metropolis. The grand temple at the city's center, the heart of Atlantis, split down the middle, its massive dome caving in under the force of the quakes. Gilded statues toppled, crashing into the ever-rising flood, while once proud obelisks sank beneath the waves. As the orichalcum reactor failed, the energy veins that had once lit the city with life began to flicker, their glow dimming one by one, as if Atlantis itself was taking its final breaths. From the vantage of space, the city's glow flickered, then vanished. Atlantis was no more.